What's going on, everyone? I'm just a typical, average American here today to react and learn about 10 things you must know before visiting London. 10 whole things. It's kind of scary. What are these 10 whole things that could go wrong if you visit London without knowing these? I really don't have any clue what to expect here, although I do feel like Americans, more than most cultures and nations around the world, tend to just kind of go places, just dive headfirst into other cultures, like visiting London, for instance, without really bothering to understand anything about the culture or how things might be different, to maybe spare us some embarrassment or awkward moments. But not me. I'm here today to watch the video on 10 important things you must know before going to London. So I'm quite interested in this. This should be good. Let's take a look.
If you're coming to London for the first time, I have 10 important tips you should know before you get here. Save yourself a little bit of embarrassment and make your trip to London easier. Number one, the Brits drive on the left side of the road. Now, if you're not driving...
Oh my god. This might be the one, thank goodness, the one thing most Americans do know about Britain, or at least a good amount of Americans. Like, man, if you went to London without knowing this, you're in physical danger. You're in danger because, I mean, I guess maybe you might not be driving a car, but you might walk into traffic the wrong way. Or this is a good one. This one might be the most obvious one, but it's worth saying for sure. Might save some American lives out there.
When you're in London, this may not seem like it's a big deal, but actually when you're crossing the street, that is when it's the scariest. Luckily, the smarties here in London put markings on the ground at every single crossing, telling you literally if you should look left or if you should look right.
No. That's like, oh my gosh, that's a good idea. It's almost like embarrassing for like Americans and other... It's like they dedicated literal markings on the ground to people visiting London so that you'll look the correct direction. You know, it is like for safety. Honestly, it actually makes a lot of sense. I just never really thought that would actually be a thing, but I'm glad it's a thing. Look right or look left. That's good. That's good.
So make sure when you're going to cross the street, you look down to see which way you should look so you don't get run over by a car. Number two, there are some names and words that are not pronounced as they're spelled. So these are the ones you should know and that you'll probably use. Number one, the most popular place for tourists to go in London is called Leicester Square. Not...
geez. I'm already bad enough at not knowing anything in London, or let alone the name of the squares. So this is the first time I'm seeing this. I would have said Leicester Square, but it's Leicester Square. She's right. Like, I would have definitely said it wrong. I'm asking like the Uber driver or the taxi to take me somewhere. And they, who knows where they'd take me. I guess they'd take me to Leicester Square, wherever that is.
Not Leicester. Leicester Square. There's also Greenwich, which is a
Oh man, I would have said Greenwich. I'm not even ashamed to say it. That says Greenwich. Greenwich.
Popular area for people to visit too. It's called
before she even says Westminster. Westminster. Yeah. That's spelled. Okay, she's gonna say, some people might say Westminster Abbey. I mean, that one I feel like you'd kind of know what they were saying.
Westminster, not Westminster. There's no extra I in there. Westminster. My English husband told me I should include this one. Buckingham Palace.
Buckingham Palace. Yeah, I think Americans actually do a good job on that one. For some reason, that's one of the only British places we actually hear about on the news or something, so I feel like we actually know that one.
So it looks like it's Buckingham Palace, but it's actually pronounced Buckingham.
Oh, no, yeah. Now that she says it, I totally would say Buckingham. Buckingham! A nice roasted ham. No, Buckingham. Buckingham.
And that lovely brown river that runs through London is called the Thames, not the Thames.
Oh, geesh. I didn't know this was going to be, oh man, this educational. I think I'm 4 for 4 on these. I would not have pronounced correctly. Thames is, oh, it's not the Thames, it's Thames. See, my mind immediately wants to go to Thames. 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 Well, that's kind of fun.
Thames River. I know, I got them all wrong when I first got here too, but now you know. If you decide to go to the pub and order yourself a beer or a cider, which I definitely recommend you do, you'll need to order by the pint. This is what a pint...
By the pint! Oh man, just like the movies. Ordering a pint. You can tell I've never been to a pub in my life. Getting to order a pint of beer. That would be an experience right there. Yeah, that is a difference, but then again, America doesn't even have pubs to begin with, so pints and a whole other things about pubs, no one in America has any clue how that works. So that would just be a whole thing, I'm sure.
Pint glass looks like it's about 20 ounces of drink. If you order a drink from the tap, they're going to ask you, do you want a pint or a half pint? A half pint is obviously half the size of a pint. Remember that a lot of English beers and ciders are stronger than beer in America, so just be careful when you drink.
Really?
When you go
I didn't know that. That's like a fun fact. Beers and ciders in Britain, in London, are stronger than American. That's very random. But somehow, I don't know, if some Americans would like take it as a badge of honor that our beer is stronger. But no, apparently not.
to a restaurant in London, when you get the bill, double check to see if there was a service charge added onto it. Usually this is around like 12.5%. If there was a service charge added, don't worry about tipping on top of that. If there's no service charge, then tip between 10 and 15%.
Wait, what? Oh man, that's kind of confusing to me. I didn't know. So there's a possibility that the tip is included, and there's a possibility that it's not included, and then you need to tip? Man, I wish it was just like one way or the other all the time. This is like making me paranoid or something. Oh man. Okay. So you basically have to look at your bill to make sure you don't. Okay. Man, I really didn't know that was even possible.
The service charge isn't mandatory, but you would only not pay it if your service was really terrible. Use a city map.
Oh, the service charge isn't mandatory.
Isn't mandatory, but you would only not pay it if your service was really terrible.
Oh, so it isn't really like included. It's basically like you're always choosing to tip or not. The service charge is just like a recommended amount. Okay, that actually makes more sense to me. I'm glad she added that.
Use the City Mapper app to get yourself around London. This app is amazing.
Oh, this is very specific, but I like it. Recommending a specific app. City Mapper. Okay.
To get yourself around London. This app is amazing, is what I think every single local Londoner uses. It's better than Google Maps because it gives you a million different options of which ways you can go. There's even rain-safe options, so the options that mean that you'll be out of the rain as much as possible, which is great when you're in London because it rains all the time.
Wow, that is awesome. I wonder if they have apps like this for like every major city. Seems like this app is like specifically good for London and carving out specific routes, like better than Google Maps. I could actually absolutely see this. This is cool. I've never heard of an app like this, but it actually makes a ton of sense.
Mean that you'll be out of the rain as much as possible, which is great when you're in London because it
avoid the rain. Wow, that's technology there. Wow.
Rains all the time. So if you're trying to get from point A to point B and you have some Wi-Fi or 3G, use City Mapper. It'll tell you all the routes to get there. It'll even tell you how much it's going to cost you. And it saves the directions offline, so if your phone doesn't work once you head out, you'll have it saved in your phone.
Wow, I like that she threw this tip in. This is like very, very practical for 2023 because we all have our phones. And also for someone who is visiting London, this is the kind of thing that's going to like help you constantly. Constantly like, forget about learning what side of the road to make sure to go in a certain direction or avoid cars on. That's not important. City Mapper, okay.
England uses the pound as its currency. 100 pence or 100p makes up 1 pound. And
See, I actually didn't know that for the longest time. I heard this word, pence. I've heard quid. I've heard pound. I recently watched a video explaining the British currency, so I am much more educated on it now, but I know, like, not that long ago, Americans don't know what the heck a pence is, but now I do. Now I do. And certainly this is pretty important, although we are living in a day and age where you can whip out your credit card and pay that way. So maybe more Americans are kind of getting away with not even knowing what the heck is going on with currency anymore.
And if you ever hear someone saying quid, quid is just like a slang word for pound, kind of like how we use buck in the States. So if they say it's 100 quid, it's 100 pounds. The smallest note you can get is 5 pounds. There's no 1 pound note here, just so you know. And coins come in 2 pounds, 1 pound, 50p, 20p, 10p, 5p, 2p, and 1p. To get around London, you must get an Oyster card. There are two.
The Oyster card! The Oyster card. Yes, I have heard of the legendary Oyster card. I think I just like the name, to be honest.
Different types of Oyster cards.
Oh, there's 2 different types. Okay, we're gonna get into detail here. Very good, very good.
To get around London, you must get an Oyster card. There are 2 different types of Oyster cards that you can get. One is called a visitor's Oyster card. You can only get this if you order it ahead of time, get it delivered to your house. Or you can get a regular Oyster card, which you can pick up at tons of shops around London. You can get at the airport, you can get them anywhere.
Yeah, I saw how you, like, load it with money, and then you can, like, get around by scanning this one magical card that has all the power. The Oyster card. And you can scan it on ferries and to get on the tube and buses, and it makes so much sense. It's pretty cool.
Use either of these Oyster cards, you need to top them up, which means that you add credit to the card. As you start to use the Underground and the bus system, your credit will decrease and you have to top it up more and more. If you're going to be traveling...
man, you can't just drive around for free forever, dang it.
A lot. Having an Oyster card is really good because the rates are a lot cheaper than if you paid cash. And they have a daily cap, which means once you've reached a certain amount of money that you've spent, that's it. And the rest of your travel is free for the day.
Oh my gosh, that's the part I never knew. I'm so glad she mentioned that. I was just thinking, like, okay, the Oyster card is cool. What differentiates it from a credit card? Why are we all getting this Oyster card? And she perfectly explained it. You basically have a limit of how much you have to spend, and then you can get around for free the rest of the day? I did not know that.
A certain amount of money that you've spent, that's it. And they have a daily cap. Oyster card is really good because the rates are a lot cheaper than if you pay.
And the rates are cheaper. Like, you're getting a better bang for your buck, or better bang for your quid, I guess. If I don't know what the British expression would be, but better bang for your buck. And also, when you spend enough money, the rest of the day is, like, paid for. That is, wow, I really didn't know that. That the Oyster card just went up so much higher now. It's not just a cool name. It actually, the practical purpose of it just went way up. Wow.
That you've spent, that's it. And the rest of your travel is free for the day. On the visitor Oyster card, it's £6.40, and on a regular Oyster card, it kind of varies. It's around £7. So the only thing is that if you're going to be in London for a week and traveling a lot, you might find that it's actually cheaper to get a 7-day travel card, which you can just put right onto your Oyster card. So I'll leave some links down in the description to help you decide.
Oh, is that like you pay for 7 days all at once, and then it's just unlimited travel for 7 days, basically? Man, there is a bit to think about. This is another good one. This is another good one. Like, kind of like the app for getting around London. This is like the learning about the Oyster card and the different payments you can do and why get it. And there's the travel one you can get ahead of time. This is actually very good stuff. Like, very, very good tips for folks who are going to visit London.
Which is going to be the best option for you. Take the bus when you can. Those classic English double-decker buses are really fun to ride around on if you can grab a seat on the top, and especially in the front of the bus. It's really cool.
You don't have to tell me twice. These things.
You'll get to see London from a whole new angle.
Yeah, the double-decker bus. I actually wondered how common these were. I almost thought, like, It was some kind of rare, like obscure, kind of touristy London bus thing. I'm not sure how common these double-decker buses are, but you do not see these things in America. I mean, possibly in some major city, I don't know. I don't know if New York has gotten on the double-decker bus, but yeah, these are awesome and definitely like an experience. Just riding the double decker bus doesn't even matter where you're going. If you go to London, you got to get on the double decker bus. You don't have to tell me twice.
The top, and especially in the front of the bus, it's really cool. And you'll get to see London from a whole new angle. And it only costs you £1.50. To get on the bus, all you have to do is tap your Oyster card at the front of the bus, and that's it. You don't have to tap out. If you want to take a bus, use your Citymapper app and see what the best route is and where the nearest bus station is. If you need...
Man, this is like, I like how specific she's getting. I like it. It's very actually helpful.
If you need to change your cash into pounds, then you'll probably get the best rate at the post office. There are plenty around. Just look for this little red sign that's popping up here, or look on Google Maps and you'll be able to find plenty of them.
Oh man, this makes me wonder, gosh, this might show how unexperienced I am, but can you just take your American credit card to London and start using it? What would happen? I mean, you'd be spending US dollars because it's tied to a bank in the United States. Man, I've never had to think about that. Maybe that's another video to explain that one to me.
Be careful taking black taxis, and I say this because they can be really expensive.
Careful taking black taxis. I've never thought about a black taxi, but I do have an image of like a London black taxi. So I just didn't know they were different. They're expensive, they're fancy, even.
Be careful taking black taxis, and I say this because they can be really expensive, and they get really expensive without you noticing. So if you're going a long distance or it's rush hour, I wouldn't take a black taxi. You'll see the meter go up and up and up, and you won't be able to do anything about it.
Oh gee, you're just trapped. Let me look up London taxi. Taxi. Are they all black? Yeah, I already can tell. Yep, okay. She's just saying, like, be careful taking taxis in London, basically, because they're expensive. All right.
If you absolutely can't take public transport, I use Uber all the time. I think Uber's amazing. If you haven't used it before, it's an app where you can call a car right to where you are, and they usually show up really quickly, especially if you're in central London. They're all over the place.
Yeah, the bigger the city you're in, like, it seems like nowadays there's like a very, very extensive Uber network where you're going to be able to get a ride, like, pretty quickly. Like, there's going to be a lot of drivers, so... Man, that actually does sound a lot better than losing all your Oyster money on taxis.
It's also really good if you don't have cash on you. Some black cabs don't take cash, but Uber, it just connects right to your credit card. If you want to try out Uber for the first time, I'll put a promo code down in the description so you can try it out for yourself. So those are 10 important things you should know before you come to London for the first time. Do you have a question about something that maybe I didn't cover? Write any questions down in the comments below. I'll be happy to answer them for you. And who knows, I might make another video about it. Make sure that you subscribe.
Okay. Wow. This was good. A much bigger variety of tips, important things than I expected. Some were about saving your money, some were about how to get around London efficiently, some were about not getting run over. But I liked it. This was quite good. Actually, very helpful. Like, that's probably why this video has like 1.6 million views. Like, it's actually very helpful to people traveling to London for the first time. This video, by the way, is by Love in London, and I like this. I give it a like for sure. Are there any funny, informative comments? Let's take a look at the comments here on this video. Wondering if we'll go to a pub. What? Can we use an Oyster card for your whole family? No, everyone needs their own. Yeah, that's what I would expect. You can also use debit and credit or pay Google or Apple Pay. Maybe I can use my American credit card, actually. Brilliant. Is Citymapper still good app? Yes, Google Maps too. All right. Yeah. Yeah, this actually is just all people who are serious about this. Okay. Pretty good. Pretty good. It's mostly just people complimenting the video, kind of like I am, cuz it's good. It's entertaining too. And I learned something. So, what more can you ask for? Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, if you enjoyed this reaction, feel free to give it a like or leave a comment. And if you're interested in more videos like this, me reacting to the UK, Britain, England, London, all that stuff, feel free to subscribe for more. And until then, thank you for watching, and see you next time.